Hey, what's up everyone? Tom back here for another video. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Crappy day outside. Cheers on my coffee. Yeah, it's snowing, raining, crappy day. Like I said, it's winter, so I don't really have a lot of motivation to do really much of anything in the winter. It's just cold, bleak, nasty New England winters. Not my favorite. I absolutely hate it, but whatever. It is what it is. So stay inside, listen to music. If you can hear it, this is what we're listening to. Bob Reed, Best of Emergency. It's coincidentally not a best of, like a comp. It's actually a record. I believe his second record. I'm not sure if it was his first or second one, but I believe it's his second one. I think his first record, it was like I didn't care for it at all. It was like a play, part of a play or something. So, and then they just took the music and put it on record. It had like the dialogue from the play. I don't know. It wasn't for me. So anyway, this is great though. It's like avant-garde free jazz mixed with like psychedelic stuff. Pretty cool. Glenn Spearman actually plays on here, tenor and soprano saxophone, does vocals as well. So, and actually they do a 500 Miles High Chick Corea track. Do a cover of that. So, kind of interesting stuff. But yeah, let's get into the stuff. Got a lot of great stuff to show. So I've done 100 of these videos now. Kind of crazy. When I started out, I was kind of just showing like CDs and a lot of hip hop stuff. Don't go watch my early videos because they're not good. I know some people feel the same way. They don't care for their early videos. I definitely feel that way. So, not a fan of my early videos. I'm still not great at making videos by any means, but hopefully I've gotten a little bit better over time. Yeah, like I said, it's got a bunch of great stuff to show. I saved a bunch of like big grails I've had come in just especially for this video. I want to do something a little bit special, so. And I got a bunch of regular great stuff to show, so might be a long one. Kick back, relax, and let's just get into it. Alright, first up, I know this record's been talked about in the VC, but Joshua Abrams and Natural Information Society with simultonality. This is from last year, 2017. Really cool, kind of avant-garde jazz record. It's based around these like loops that he does. He plays giambre on this, or giambre, an African, like a 3-string African instrument. Really cool. I guess you can hold notes for a long time on it. So yeah, sort of interesting. Like I said, avant-garde jazz, kind of trancey at times. Really powerful, a bit repetitive, but not in a bad way, in my opinion. Most of the tracks are pretty long, 8+ minutes, so really cool. One track is like kind of meditative, has these chimes and like bells. The last track, 28 and a half, is really just kind of like Coltrane-esque jazz, so the styles are kind of all over the place, but they're all avant-garde jazz, like I said. So really cool, definitely worth checking out. It's a cool cover, kind of a screen printed cover, really kind of abstract cover, so great stuff though. Joshua Abrams. And the other one here from 2017, which I'm sure has been talked to death, but I still wanted to show it. Wildflower. This is a third pressing, I think. First one just had a blank white cover. A trio of like modern spiritual jazz with some Eastern influences in there, led by Idris Rahman, a saxophone player and a flautist. We also have Leon Pritchard on bass and Tom Skinner on drums. UK musicians. So they had some other projects too. Other stuff is worth checking out, but this is my favorite. So I was lucky to pick this one up when I was in New York. Moving on here. Carlos Garnett, Journey to Enlightenment. This is from 1974 on Muse. Basically some really nice funky post-bop stuff. So you have Carlos Garnett on reeds, you have Reggie Lucas on here guitar, Anthony Jackson on bass, Howard King on drums, Hubert Eve on keyboards. I showed his record not too long ago, so yeah, you really can't go wrong with Carlos Garnett, in my opinion. I think he's great. Sorry, I'm not sure how loud this music is. I'm gonna get this audio down one day, just probably not today. It always feels like it's too loud, but whenever I watch the videos back, it's always like kind of quiet or just perfect, so I don't know. I don't want to like feel like I'm yelling. Next up here, Eddie Gale. This is on Blue Note from 1969, his second record as well. A little bit different though. Jazz, but with a big sort of gospel feel. Every track has a chorus on it, pretty big sized chorus, so it's kind of what gives it that gospel feel. Sorry about the glare, there's not much I can do. I tried to do this without the light on, but just wasn't really cooperating. Maybe if I turn this off, is that better? I think I like it better with the light on. Yeah, let's keep it like that. So anyway, yeah, like I said, really cool jazz. The jazz music itself goes from like kind of African rhythms to sort of free jazz to there's like a modal track, an Afro-Latin, some Afro-Latin stuff on here. So pretty cool. And like I said, each track has most of the tracks have like that big kind of gospel feel chorus to it. So pretty cool. For like more notable musicians, you have Roland Alexander on sax and flute, Jimmy Lyons on sax, Elvin Jones on drums. Pretty cool. Sort of a big group overall because you have Eddie Gale and his core group of players, which is Russell Lyle, and then two bassists, Judah Samuel, Henry Pearson. Russell Lyle plays tenor sax and flute, and then Eddie Gale himself is a trumpet player, if you guys don't know. And then the four other guys I named, and then a pretty big group of the chorus. So sort of a big group overall, but great record. Definitely recommend that one. I picked all of these up at A1 in New York City, actually. I don't think I mentioned that. Next one here, I pulled this one off the wall. I think it was the last one, actually, from A1, from New York City, actually. Harlem River Drive. This one's been talked about quite a bit in BC in the past as well. I really enjoy it. I'll describe this sort of funky soul, or more like actually jazzy funk soul, I would say. Jazzy, funky soul with Latin percussion, I guess is the best way to describe it. This is from 1971 on the Roulette label. It does have some vocals as well, dealing with like the social, economic kind of racism of the time going on in New York City during the 70s, early 70s, late 60s. It was still in that time frame. So, but fantastic record, really cool cover art. Yeah, happy to have this. I know this one's been shown before, but I'm just gonna show it real quick. Picked up the reissue of Phil Mussera and Michael Cosmic. I've shown the original of Phil Mussera. I was lucky enough to pick this up not too long ago. So I mainly picked this up for the Michael Cosmic, Peace in the World. I love this record. As compared to the Phil Mussera, this one's a septet record, I believe. I think there's 5 players, sometimes maybe even 6. So it's definitely a bigger group. It's definitely more free, more out there for sure. Definitely a bit of Albert Ayler influence. I think you can feel it at times. Same as the Phil Mussera, there's one track to end off the album which is more sort of pulled back and more accessible, I think, with the rest is kind of out there, cosmic style free jazz. So yeah, really cool. Go check it out. But if you're not into like out there free jazz, probably won't be your thing, but I still highly recommend it. Some great Boston jazz from yeah, this was actually reissued by Now again. Not the best job on this, unfortunately. Like Kieran said in his last video, they've done better jobs on reissues in the past. The Now Experience Orchestra, which actually has one of the players from that on this Michael Cosmic record, they did a hell of a lot better job on that, I think, than on this. I know Kieran said he had some issues with warped and like just overall the spindle hole being too small and stuff, and I did notice some of that too. The weight wasn't really there, so whatever. I think they switched pressing plants, but I'm just happy to have the music. Moving on here, Alice Coltrane, Transfiguration. This one I picked up in Princeton Record Exchange, New York City, when I was there over the holidays to see my cousin. So this is a live show, basically from UCLA, from 1978. Just a trio. You have Alice Coltrane doing her thing on piano and organ. You have Roy Haynes on drums, and then Reggie Workman on bass. But really great, sort of ethereal, kind of hypnotic free jazz. I love it. There's a fantastic version of Leo on here, John Coltrane track. And then the rest is just Alice Coltrane tunes, I believe, doing her own thing. But yeah, great stuff. It's the trio, but it definitely works, so highly recommend this one as well. And then moving from Alice Coltrane onto Alice Clark. I pulled this one a while back, but I just never ended up showing it. Really great soul record. This is on the Mainstream label. Actually, I don't think I showed the label, but it's on Mainstream. This is an original. These are all originals, unless I say otherwise. Obviously, the Moosra Cosmic was a reissue, but yeah, this is an original. Kind of hard to find the originals. I picked this up because I got a great deal on it. I don't know how much I love it. It is a straight up soul record. The music's really cool too. Love the music, and her voice definitely like cuts deep like a knife. She has a voice that just punches you in the gut. I think at least. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this one. It is a great record, but I'm not the biggest fan of soul records, just in general like this. So her voice is great, but I might trade it with it. I don't know if you're interested. Let me know. It's pretty clean. Everyone does have some scuffs on it, but it plays fine. So, and it is still in shrink. Actually, I'm not gonna take it out of the thing, but I don't think the gatefold's ever been open on this, so pretty cool. A couple here I was able to pick up thanks to Mr. Chris Cole. First one here. But that first one for a long time, one of those grails I was finally able to check off the list. I've been saving this show in this video. So, Creative Arts Ensemble, New Horizons, their second record. This is from, yeah, I want to say it's from 81. I know they had a previous record, which was actually on Nimbus West. No, I don't know when this is from. There's no year on here, but I believe it's from 81, somewhere around there. Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. Anyway, fantastic deep jazz, vocal jazz, beautiful vocals on here. And you do have B.J. Crowley, who I think the first record was credited under B.J. Crowley and Creative Arts Ensemble. This is just Creative Arts Ensemble. They have B.J. Crowley does vocals, Billy Higgins on drums, Dadisi Komoev, who is a flute player who has his own record on Nimbus West, which is pretty well known. Gary Bias, who I think his record is called 101 East, also on Nimbus West. Louis Spears on bass, pretty well known player as well. So there's the full lineup. Sorry about the glare, but I can't do anything about that. And it's not on Nimbus West, it's on the Riza label, or Riza. Never sure how to pronounce that label, but I say just fantastic. Really deep sort of vocal jazz, beautiful. Really happy to have this. Not easy to find whatsoever. So thank you, Chris. In that same package was Elephant Trot Dance, Khalik Al Roof, and Salam. So happy to have this. Another one that was huge on my want list. Really high up there. I love this cover art too. Check that out. Just humongous elephant coming at you. Yeah, this is on Nova Records. Started by Alvin Queen, who actually plays on this record. I believe he plays percussion. Now, Salam is actually Ensemble Al Salam, the same group who had the Sojourner record on Strata East. So you do get some of that same vibe on here. It does have some of those players. I don't think it's the whole group, but it does have a few good of those players on here. Although it was recorded, I want to say that came out in like the early to mid 70s, and it was recorded through like 74 to 79, 78, and it came out in 79, I believe, for this. So there is a bit of a gap in years between that record and this record. So if you're expecting basically the same as that, it is a little bit different, although the music is in that same style, kind of. It's again vocal jazz, deep jazz, spiritual jazz, yeah, for lack of a better word, but it's basically what it is, just a mix of different styles like soul jazz and that kind of stuff. So really cool, definitely worth checking out some samples. Really beautiful music. The title track in particular, I think it's probably most well known, so I'd recommend that one for sure. Moving on here, another one from Chris Cole. This is another pretty hard to find record. Universal Consciousness, Roach Ohm. So Roach Ohm is a young poet, or was on this record. She's a young female poet. This was recorded sometime in the early 70s. And she's backed up actually by Juju, same group who had a couple records on Strata East. And the sound on this is really similar for music to like their second record on Juju. So I think it's called Nia, or Naya, I think that's a name. So yeah, this is just a private press on a United Sound label. I think the back is just blank. It just has her address like written in pen. You can kind of see there. I'm not going to open it because there's really no reason. I know I've seen this like front cover art on different records too, just with different writing on it. So sort of, you could definitely tell not a lot was put into the packaging. We probably didn't have a lot of money. You know, but the music is great. The poetry is cool, but the music is really what's good in my opinion. Really great stuff from Juju. Definitely, like I said, very similar to their second record. So definitely, if you can, check out the music on this. It's hard to find. I don't know how easy it is to find music itself online. I don't think it's too easy either, but fantastic music. Yeah, I got that for a good deal. So another one, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with it yet, but next up, Karuna by Rusty Cloud. Rusty Cloud is a player I wasn't too familiar with. I think he's from New York City. This is a record that I'm not sure if it's the only record. I think he's done other stuff, but this might be his only record. Don't quote me on that though. I don't know too much about him. This came out in '78 on the Mu label or MU label. But really nice avant-garde jazz. A couple tracks are more in the spiritual vein. One track is more sort of like blues-based jazz, which is a dedication to Rashawn Roland Kirk. Yeah, called Peace Rashawn actually. So lineup that I'm really not too familiar with either. So there's a lineup if you guys want to check it out. But just really great jazz from the late 70s. Definitely worth checking out. This has been reissued. You can definitely sample it online. I know a Japanese guy ended up reissuing it through his label, so on CD at least. I'm not sure about vinyl, but I know that it's definitely been reissued on CD. So Karuna, Rusty Cloud, definitely worth a listen. Time to flip the record actually anyway. So Bob Reed, Best of Emergency is what we're listening to once again. This is side B. Hopefully you guys could hear it. Alright, moving on to a Hat Hut record, which I don't really hear mentioned too often. I think it's great, but... So, this is George Sams with Nomadic Winds. I think this is actually on an offshoot of Hat Hut called Hat Musics, but it's kind of the same Hat Hut label. All under the same umbrella. So just a really nice avant-garde jazz record. This was... So he was actually a trumpeter for the group United Front, if you guys are familiar with them. He played with them for a while. On this he plays, I believe, piano and saxophone. You have India Cook on violin, who does a great job on violin, really stands out in my opinion. Andre St. James on bass, Anthony Brown on drums, and Abdul Wadud on percussion. So really great avant-garde jazz with some spiritual stuff kind of mixed throughout, sprinkled throughout, but really nice. Don't really hear this talked about at all, so I think it's relatively affordable. You can still find it pretty easily. Moving on, another one of those grails that I got. Just really happy to finally cross this off the list. So the Lloyd McNeil Quartet with Asha, released on his own Asha Recordings label in 1969. I think these were originally limited to like 500 or 1,000 when they came out, so that's why they're so hard to find now. I know this has been reissued as well. I'm not sure how easy it is to find now, but I know I've seen it floating out there. Yeah, Lloyd McNeil, if you're not familiar, is a flautist. I love flute, especially in jazz, free jazz. So for the lineup, you have Lloyd McNeil on piccolo and flute, Gene Rush on piano, Steve Novosel on bass, Eric Gravitt on percussion, Paul Hawkins on Latin percussion. Yeah, I just love it. Just really, really beautiful music. I love artwork on this too. Fantastic. But I said, another huge want knocked out thanks to my friend John. We were able to do a trade, and I was able to get this. I think I traded him a Bayer Lancaster record, I believe. A couple Sun Ra joints I was able to get thanks to my buddy Zach. Thank you, Zach. So these are both original Saturns. Really, really cool. This first one here, My Brother the Wind, probably Sun Ra's most well-known record. On the original brown, they call it Saturn, even though it looks more black. Sorry about the air. Kind of interesting record from Sun Ra. Really small lineup here. You just have Sun Ra, John Gilmore, who plays actually, it's featured on percussion more so than sax, although he does play sax as well. Marshall Allen and Danny Davis. That's it. Similar lineup that's on Night of the Purple Moon. Oh no, this one's a lot more free though, I would say, than Night of the Purple Moon. Definitely more out there. Yeah, great stuff though. Really happy to have this. Original Sun Ra's. Don't go up too often, you know when they do. They're always pricey, so that one's in great shape too. And then next one here, this is Voice of the Eternal Tomorrow. This is from 10 years later, 1980. I believe that one came out in 1970. This one's from 1980. Basically a live show from New York City at the Squat Theater, which from what I understand was a theater started by Hungarian dissidents that got basically exiled from Hungary, came over to New York City and just set up in an abandoned storefront and just started putting on plays and shows and doing weird sort of stuff like that. So Sun Ra played there a bunch of times from what I understand. Unfortunately, being what it is, set up just like an old storefront, and Sun Ra just having their own kind of DIY aesthetic, the fidelity isn't the highest on this, so it's not recorded the best, although the music comes through. It's definitely loud, aggressive, sort of definitely in your face. Yeah, definitely a bigger Sun Ra showing on this one for sure. Definitely get more of the group. Yeah, it's kind of really loud, confrontational Sun Ra, as he was at times, so really interesting. Next up here, New Delta Acri. I've showed their first record before, this is their second record from 77. So this is Leo Smith's group from back in the 70s. This is a live recording recorded in Hartford. Is it a live recording? I'm sorry, it's not a live recording. It was recorded in Hartford. I think their previous record was a live recording, is what I'm thinking of. So that one was a trio. This is more of a quartet, I believe. So you have Oliver Lake, Anthony Davis, Leo Smith, Wes Brown, Paul Maddox, who is actually Farron Aklaf. Before he became Muslim, changed his name to Farron Aklaf. He was Paul Maddox. That's what he goes by on here. But great, just avant-garde jazz. I feel like maybe they don't get as much room to stretch out, being that there's more players and the tracks are a little bit shorter. The previous record was like one long track on each side. This one has 6 tracks, 3 on each side, so yeah, but still great avant-garde jazz. I feel like a lot of people don't know about Leo Smith's this part of his career, New Delta Acri, but it's fantastic, I think. And Leo Smith is still doing his thing till this day, so yeah, I think he's great. A couple Polish jazz records here. This is Extra Ball, their debut, recorded in 1973. I think it's called Birthday? Yep, Birthday, recorded in 1973. Makes like great just jazz rock fusion from Poland from around that time. Great musicianship, great songwriting on this. Really talented players for sure. Kind of based on like Polish folklore, European classical music and jazz. Sort of like their influences, you can kind of tell, so. But yeah, from 76 on the Polskie Nagrania label, or just Polish recordings. Really cool, always great to add more Polish records to my collection. And the next one here, I don't know too much about this. Jazz Carriers, Carry On. This is their only album. This one was recorded in 76, I think, and put out in that, oh no, I'm sorry, this was from 73. So this is 3 years earlier than the previous record. Yeah, 73, their one and only record. Maybe not as like technically proficient as the Extra Ball record I just showed, but still fantastic. Great compositions once again. Really, really cool. This is more not as fusion-y. This is more funky soul jazz type stuff, but I still highly recommend checking it out. Still really cool. Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much about these guys, so I'm sorry I can't share more, but just great Polish jazz. A couple more here. These two I picked up from my friend Josh. Thanks, Josh, if you happen to watch this. This is another one that I've been wanting for a long, long time. Really happy to finally cross this off the list. The Ted Daniel Quintet with Tapestry. Recorded in '74, although not put out until '77, I believe. This is on the French Sun label, which I don't know anything about, but there's a label, pretty plain. Great lineup on this. You have Jerome Cooper, Khan Jamal, Richard Daniel, I believe, and Ted Daniel, and Ted Ingalls. I believe all play on this, so really great kind of, so the music is like a mix between fusion and free jazz, but it's really kind of spacious, open, free-flowing, atmospheric sort of jazz. Yeah, really, really great. Definitely recommend checking this out. I believe, like I said, their only record these guys put out under this this group, this quintet. So fantastic. Highly recommend checking this one out for sure. Some nice Fender Road work on here too. And the other one, Mark Levin. Didn't know too much about this one. The Mark Levin Ensemble, I think this is called Songs, Dances, and Prayers. This is from '73 on Mark Levin's own Sweet Dragon label. Pretty sweet label there, actually. I do like that label quite a bit. Yeah, really cool. Sort of Eastern tinged, free jazz, avant-garde jazz. There is a vocalist on here, a female vocalist, Jay Clayton, who sings and does spoken word on some of the tracks. And it was actually the birth of her son, Jay Clayton's son, that kind of motivated Mark Levin to make this album. He's actually credited in the lineup with birth. So his name is Dove Clayton. Kind of cool. She married the bass player in this group, Frank Clayton, and yeah, they had a son, and then Mark Levin got inspired by that. He made this record. Sort of interesting. Like I said, Eastern tinged jazz, and you have tracks like Benediction, Love Song, Birth of the Dove. It speaks for itself. Track B has two songs, Pantomime of Fear, which is a great track talking about different fear. Jay Clayton singing on that. She does a great job on that. And then Angel's Face has Many Doors, Jesus, Moses, and John Coltrane. Sort of a really odd song. It's almost 15 minutes long to really out there to end off the album. But I think this is the record that Mark Levin recorded right before he sort of stopped doing music and moved to Denmark to become a psychiatrist. So I don't know, he just that's what he wanted to do, so I guess that's what he did. But still, really interesting record. Sort of psychedelic at times, Eastern tinged, like I said. So couple more here. Yeah, 3 more. So I picked up both of the original Paris Smith records, so Thought Seeds from '83 and the Kenneth Hill Paris Smith quartets from '77, I believe. This one, the quartets, is more kind of straight ahead, more in the hard bop, bebop style vein. Still great, still has some nice moments on it for sure. Some nice soul jazz stuff, some great playing all around. If you don't know, Paris Smith himself is from Chicago, I believe. He's a vibraphonist. Really cool. Great stuff. Let me show the artwork on this. So they're both on the Oracle label. I know both these were reissued not long ago as well, so there's the artwork in the back from quartets. What that look like. So out of the two, that one's my lesser favorite. This one I like quite a bit more. Thought Seeds. Oh, maybe I don't want to show that. People get pissing on YouTube over nudity, but oh well, too late. Yeah, it's just art, people. Get over it. Fantastic, though. Modal, spiritual jazz record right here. Great vocals from, what's her name? Carol Sawal. Saul does the vocals on here. It's fantastic. Yeah, like I said, modal, spiritual jazz type stuff. Highly recommend this one. Fantastic, fantastic playing. Great record. Great, great vibes on here. And to finish it off, one of my biggest wants. Finally, I was able to cross off the list after however many years spent looking for it. Don Pullen, Wilfred Graves, live in concert at Yale University, 1966. So basically just a duo. You can imagine piano and drums, percussion. The music is so avant-garde, out there, sort of cacophonous, crazy, free jazz. I love it though. I think it's fantastic. These guys together, just a magical combination. Go listen to it. The whole thing is on YouTube, I believe. So this is sort of like even though it's the original pressing, still the first pressing, it's like the second batch. The first 100 or so of these had hand-drawn covers from Wilfred Graves. I'm still trying to get my hands on one of those. I would love to get my hands on one of those. I'd probably just trade this if I could, or sell this to get one of those, because those are absolutely beautiful. I had a reissue of that, but I ended up selling it to get this. And yeah, just fantastic. I don't have anything more to say about it. It's on their own label called SRP, Self-Reliance Project. Another couple guys who are just big on DIY, you know, doing it yourself, and just music is so good, to me at least. So go check it out. Can't recommend this enough. Don Pullen, Wilfred Graves, from 1966, in concert at Yale University. I think I've probably been talking for long enough. It's been half an hour, so it's probably more than you need to hear from me. But it felt nice to come back, show some records, talk about some music. Hope everyone's doing well. Leave me comments if you want. Let me know what you've picked up recently. I've been watching a few videos here and there. Whoever's been uploading, I saw that James Buttery uploaded recently, so pretty long video. Yeah, Metal Theologian, been talking to him quite a bit, watching his videos recently, especially his jazz stuff, because I'm not really into the metal stuff, but I just like watching him in general. He's just fun to watch. So, alright guys, that's it. Now I'm just blabbing on. So, yeah, my 100th video. Really happy, really thankful for this community. It has changed quite a bit since I first started out in 2012. I think I made my first video, but I was watching earlier than that. So, yeah, fantastic. Like I said, leave me comments if you want, and I'll be back at some point. Hopefully it gets warmer soon, so be more motivated to come on and do more digging, make more videos. Because right now, I said it is terrible. Hopefully you guys can look at that. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's just disgusting outside. So, yeah. Alright guys, talk to you later. Peace.